Have we lost the art of good old-fashioned courtship? What happened to picking up the bill at dinner, opening the door for your young lady, or throwing your coat onto a forthcoming puddle? To discuss this, I'm delighted to welcome Kezia Noble, a celebrity dating expert and author of the best-selling book, The Noble Art of Seducing Women. Kezia has helped over 1 million men achieve success. Also joining us is former Apprentice contestant and the star of a new series of Celebs Go Dating, Ryan Mark Parsons. Kezia, is the age of romance dead?
Oh yes, it's been dead since the first dating app came out.
And is that a good or a bad thing? Is that a good or a bad thing, Kezia?
No, it's a bad thing. Yeah, just like dating apps has made people like just very sort of replaceable. People just think that, you know, with a dating app, you don't have to put much effort into it. You just have to put up a nice picture, say a couple of cool things, and then you go on a date. There's not much effort there. It just, as I said, everyone's just replaceable. Men and women see it that way. And so just people don't make that effort. And that's what I believe romance is. It's about making that effort.
And why is romance important? Why does it matter if you still get your end away at the end of the day?
No, if that's all you want, then fine. But it's not going to progress to anything. So I help a lot of men, and although, yes, they're looking for short-term hookups, a lot of them, at some point, they do want a relationship, the vast majority. And if you are going via dating apps to find that just short-term hookups, then the chances that you have a relationship out of that are significantly lower than if you put in the effort and did it the old-fashioned way.
Do you think it will come back, romance?
I do think so, and I'm starting to see it already. A lot of people are sort of ditching the dating apps. They're finding it just kind of like they thought it was a shortcut, and it's not. Especially now, as people can really filter their pictures a lot more. A lot of people are like disappointed when they go on these dates, and so they're sort of deleting those dating apps more and more. And people are starting to look. They miss that adrenaline of approaching somebody, and going out on 2 or 3 dates with them. They're actually starting to miss that. So I do think that dating apps will be there and short-term hookups will always be there. But I think people are starting to look back at the old ways of meeting women and women meeting men.
Can't you have romance online? Can't you have romance through an app, Kezia?
You can. It does happen. Younger generation, less so. Older generation, maybe a bit more because they're probably looking to settle down. But the vast majority of people that I speak to, especially my clients and my female, I don't use dating apps, but my female friends have just said like it's exhausting and they're just finding that it's losing that kind of, as you say, romantic kind of feel to everything.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fascinating question, isn't it? What do you think about this? Because the bottom line is that ultimately you've got dating shows, and these dating shows are clearly very popular. And you're in one of them, Ryan Mark Parsons. You are in Celebs Go Dating.
Yes, I've been filming that, gosh, for the past 3 months. And it's been on air for about 2 weeks now. And that was very much going back to traditional dating. We got rid of the dating apps and we are thrown into the deep end, dating someone. A lot of blind dates, actually, people just appearing in the room and we just have to face them, ask the questions. But I have found, since filming the show, that people can't speak anymore. And I think that's where the romance is dying. Because of the pandemic, people have lost all of their communication skills. And I think that is a large reason why romance is as wet as a leaf in the winter. It's sad. It's really sad to see. And I've made an effort on these dates. If anyone's been watching Celebs Go Dating, they would have seen me making a lot of effort. But I'm afraid to say the dates have been coming to me. They have been absolutely terrible so far.
Well, Ryan Mark, perhaps those ladies don't want to talk. They want to get down to business.
Well, maybe. And that's the thing, Mark. That is the thing. You were speaking earlier about this £1 Asda ring. And I think that is absolutely pathetic and disgusting. Honestly, anyone going to a supermarket to buy a £1 engagement ring needs to have a long look in the mirror. And you're exactly right on business. It has become very, very transactional, where people are simply buying a ring for £1. I've never heard of anything like this. And then proposing. I would be absolutely humiliated. If someone proposed to me with a ring worth £1, I'd be running away to Australia. Absolutely not.
So, Ryan Mark, what are some of your romantic techniques?
Some of my romantic techniques, goodness me. So on these dates, I have been flirting in the sense of giving a few chat-up lines. Like, gosh, what was one of them? If you were a waffle, I'd like to put my tongue in one of your little squares. That was one of my chat-up lines. It did work.
You had me at waffles. I'm in.
Sorry?
You had me at waffles. Give me your number.
Potato waffles, exactly. And
Nicely
then another
done.
one was if you were what's a dung beetle? I'd be a piece of animal poo. And these are very bizarre chat-up lines, but you know why they work? Because they break the ice. And then as soon as I go in with those bizarre chat-up lines, the conversation flows. But unfortunately, some of the dates I've had have just been so dull, they just don't know how to continue it. And that's a major issue as well that we're facing.
Well, yeah, I mean, do you think, Ryan Mark, there's a difference between how romantic men and women are?
Absolutely. And I think that is mainly because of how woke we're becoming as a society. I'm 21. I have a lot of my friends going on dates every week pretty much. Are on Hinge, Tinder, Raya. And they're finding a lot of people from my generation, Generation Z, they are tiptoeing around certain topics. For instance, this wasn't even a date. I opened the door to a woman the other day and she gave me the dirtiest look. And I was speaking to my friends. He was so worried at the restaurant table over whether he would offer to pay the meal just in case the woman he was dating on the date with would accuse him of being misogynistic, which he has had in the past. So it's because of this wokery, people are becoming very cautious when it comes to dating. And that is killing the romance. That is the reason why there's no romance left.
Kezia, do you think that extreme political correctness is killing romance?
So Ryan's bang on the money on many of these points. The woke thing is getting in the way, but you do have to own it. You have to, if someone starts giving you, like he had that experience of opening the door, and literally if the woman says, don't open the door for me or whatever, just say to her, look, are you not used to a man treating you like a gentleman? Is that something you're not used to? Like, kind of make her, like, reflect it back at her. But you have to own it. You have to say, look, this is me. I'm a polite person. I like being a gentleman. Do not mistake my kindness for weakness. My good manners for being sexist or anything like that. You've got to own it. And I think then that can sort of supersede it. But a lot of guys are very apologetic for being kind or apologetic for being a gentleman. And that's what makes that person unattractive, if that makes sense.
What do you think about Ryan Mark's chat-up lines, waffles and dung beetles?
On paper, they're terrible. But look at the way he's saying it. He's confident. He's not outcome dependent with it. He's just saying it. He knows it's a bit of a laugh. And he's being 100%, committed to it. That's attractive. That's confidence. That's what women are looking for in a man, a confident person. They're looking for confidence and certainty. So if he'd have said those chat-up lines or any chat-up line with uncertainty or, slightly apologetic, then it wouldn't have worked.
Do you think romance is generational to a certain extent, Kezia? Perhaps our parents and our grandparents did it properly.
They did it better, but I have to say I've been on dates with much younger guys than me, and they're a little bit more awkward than older guys about it. But they do secretly like it, guys. I think even the young ones, I think they secretly like that whole experience of being romantic with a woman, even if they don't always admit it. So I don't think it's completely dead for that generation yet.
So you've advised many men in finding love. How would you advise them to be romantic in order to win someone's heart? What sort of tips might you suggest?
Okay, so it's got to be romantic not in a cliched sense. I mean, if you like to do cliched things, again, it's all about owning that and just being unapologetic.
Can you have a rose between your teeth like this?
Someone like Ryan would get away with it because he'd be like half laughing about it, you can imagine. So yes, actually, you could go really silly with it as long as you're kind of doing it tongue in cheek. Again, it's about the attitude, not what you do. And in terms of romance, you've got to do something which you feel is what's the word? It's in line with who you are. You don't want to become someone that you're not. It's got to be congruent with your personality
and
authentic.
Your lifestyle and age. Yeah. That's what the word, isn't it? Catchword these days, authentic.
It is, yeah. You have to be authentic to yourself. So if it's standing with a rose because you're that funny person that likes to take the PISS, don't know if I can say that on this show,
of course you can.
Himself, then okay, then it will work. And if you're not that comical kind of person, it's going to look absolutely ridiculous.
Do you think, Kezia, that programs like Celebs Go Dating and Love Island trivialise and undermine relationships?
So I've not been a contestant on Celebs Go Dating, but I've appeared on it, like coaching the guys on there. And I love Celebs Go Dating because, as you know, it's not about dating apps and things like that, and it's much more organic. So I like Celebs Go Dating. I think that's a good show. I don't like Love Island at all. They all look the same, the people. I literally can't tell the difference between any of them. But at least with Celebs Go Dating, I mean, there's different kind of looks. At least you can see the difference between the people. I know that's not going to win me any points saying that, but Love Island, ugh.
Not for you. Briefly, Kezia, let me ask you about both genders, because you are an expert on romance across the board. What do women want and what do men want?
Okay. Oh, God. I've written like a whole book about this. You're asking me to just sort of like put it into one sentence. Okay. Women are looking for ultimately confidence in a guy. They're looking for somebody who is, as you said, authentic, unapologetic for what he says, who he is, has a strong reality, doesn't play the Mr. Nice Guy routine. They'd rather have someone that's the great guy, okay, with a little bit of a dark side to him, perhaps, but they don't want the nice guy. And what what men are looking for,
family show,
obedience. No, I'm joking. No, I think what men are looking for, mainly from what I hear from guys, is loyalty. I do hear that a lot from my clients. Like, what's the most important? What's your ideal woman? And like, keep in shape, attractive and loyal. I hear that a lot. That's just the feedback I get from guys.
I think what men are looking for is a pulse, but that's just perhaps my personal experience. Ryan, Mark, what do you think? First of all, what are you looking for, Ryan? You're a very wealthy, accomplished young man. You're a celebrity now. The world is your oyster when it comes to the ladies. What are you looking for?
I'm just looking for ambition. I'm looking for intelligence. I don't think it's all about looks. I think personality is a big factor for me. So when I go on these dates, I look for big, loud, opinionated. I don't want to be sad in front of someone who's dull and dry and drab. I mean, what do you get out of that? A relationship is about learning. It's about having fun. It can't be too serious, because then what's the point of being in a relationship? I might as well go to a library. So that is what I look for in a potential partner. And going back to what you said earlier in terms of a generational issue, that's exactly right. I'm doing the show with Erika Johnson. She's 54. We're best friends. I would definitely say that I'm more of an exception when it comes to my generation. Now, we can have a chat in the green room perfectly. She flirts, I flirt, I call her Miss Foxy. And she loves it. She purrs, right? But when it comes to her dates, now she has a preference to younger men. Now on the show, they don't know how to speak to her. And I think that is because the younger generation, people like me, are so glued to their phones, they just have lost all social skills. And I definitely agree with you, Mark. It is a generational issue, and this is what is causing issues here.
Clearly, you're having great fun on Celebs Go Dating. I'd urge my viewers to give it a watch, especially for your contribution, Ryan, Mark. Do you think you'll find love on that show? Have you already met the one?
Oh, I can't reveal any spoilers. So far, I've had the worst score at the agency. I got a 3 out of 10 on episode 1. And then episode 2, I managed to insult my date in Brighton. So far, it hasn't gone too well, but you never know. It might pick up, but it's very authentic. The agents, Paul and Anna, they're absolutely incredible. Paul Brunson, Anna Williamson, they are genuine experts. They give us the best advice, and they do put us on real dates with real people. It's not acting, it's not fake, it's genuine dates with about 10 cameras watching us, and it all goes out eventually on Channel 4. So it's an amazing show, and I've loved every second of it.
Well, you're a natural on the box, and I'm sure you will find love in a very timely fashion. Brilliant to have you both on the show. Kezia Noble, celebrity dating expert, author of the best-selling book, The Noble Art of Seducing Women, and the star of The Apprentice and the new series of celebs Go Dating, Ryan Mark Parsons.